One Focus Radio.
Welcome to the show, it's Dyer's Daily. Keeping in the know, it's Dyer's Daily. We've got chat, we've got discussion, nice and slow, ain't no rushing, reading emails and events. Sometimes he makes no sense. It's time to start the show, it's Dyer's Daily. He'll be there in a mo, it's Dyer's Daily. We've got plays, we've got interviews, even stuff that's in the news. Local and otherwise, come and try it on for size, it's Dyer's Daily.
Hello and welcome to the Dyer's Daily podcast for Tuesday, the 22nd of January 2019. Making our way through the months of the year, aren't we? Yes, so on today's podcast, I talk about game shows and why is it that comedians seem to be getting the game show jobs these days and not just straight presenters. We talk about that and much more in just a moment, but first let's hear from our podcast of the week. Take it away.
Have you ever been reading through a stack of comics and thought, maybe I should see what this Arkham Asylum game is all about? Or been playing Marvel vs. Capcom and felt like you were at a real disadvantage since you didn't know who half the characters were? Well, Play Comics is the show for you. I'm Chris, and each episode we take a look at video games based on comic properties and how well they stick to that source material. So whether you know the comics and want to know how all these games work, or you know the games and want to find out where all this craziness came from, go check out Play Comics at playcomics.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
Dyer's Daily.
I'm very much enjoying the repeats of blockbusters which are currently being played on Challenge TV. Obviously, Blockbusters, huge hit back in the 1980s with Bob Holness as host. And it got me thinking, actually, why is it that these days, whenever they bring back one of those old shows, they have to always have a comedian, even when it's not a comeback of a show, but a new show. They have to have a comedian as a presenter. Do they somehow think that that comedians are really good game show hosts? I don't really know. I mean, if you look at America, I wouldn't say, for example, that Burt Convy was a comedian, or Gene Rayburn a comedian, or even Bill Cullen. He wasn't a comedian either. You know, they're all sort of they were just presenters who did kind of other things on the side, but comedy wasn't their main thing. So it always kind of annoys me these days. They remade Through the Keyhole and put Keith Lemon in charge, which then kind of took away that nice British feel. It's sort of loud and in his thing, and it has to be like over the top and funny. Even bringing back Blockbusters, which was originally presented by Bill Cullen in the United States in the early 80s, they brought it back on Comedy Central or somewhere like that with Dara O'Brien. Now, one of the things that I like about the original British Blockbusters with Bob Holness is its Britishness, is its kind of laid back agenda. No Quiz these days seems to want to be laid back. I mean, obviously there are some that you just can't be laid back on, but ones like that where they were sort of like daytimey quiz. I mean, look at 15 to 1 with Sandy Tosvik. When I first saw it, it looked like a rip-off of The Weakest Link, and nothing like the original 80s version with William G. Stewart on Channel 4. Had absolutely nothing to do with it whatsoever. The gameplay was similar, but it just didn't have the right vibe. Have we got something going on here? Is there some kind of like attention thing? What is it? I would absolutely love to know, and I'd love to hear from you if you know the answer to these questions and more, really. Oh well. Right, thank you very much for listening to this edition of Dyer's Daily, and please remember to rate, comment and subscribe on your favourite podcast provider. Also go and check us out on YouTube. Email us dyersdaily@southwavesaudio.co.uk, and I shall see you on the next podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Bye bye for now.